Welcome everyone to our big launch today. So we have a lot in store today. We're going to try to keep it under about 20 minutes. I hope you're ready to learn a little bit, and hopefully you have an opportunity to also see our cool project live during this the next next 15 to 20 minutes. You're going to notice a QR code to come on the screen sometimes. If you have an opportunity to check it out, please do so. You can also, go straight to our GitHub page that you see down in the corner there, and like it. We're always looking for stars and everything else. So, what are we launching today? It's very exciting. When we talk about AI projects, I think it's sometimes lost exactly what AI project is. An AI project can mean many things to many people, and I'm going to kind of walk through exactly what that is. So, what is an AI project? Let me share my screen. So, a AI project is the combination of a model, a knowledge pipeline. So, how do you actually get knowledge to it? Prompts, the actual runtime itself. So, how do you actually get all this stuff to run? An AI layer, an API layer, so you can actually talk to this thing, and evaluation, the ability to actually continuously evaluate everything inside of it. So this is the problem we're trying to solve. How do we make AI projects more sustainable, and how do we make them easier to launch? And what we're working on today is exactly that. How do we get these to launch easier? It is LlamaFarm. We have an answer for each and every one of these problems, getting multiple models to run in different environments, getting that reg pipeline hooked up for those different models, being able to prompt and understand what prompts are going in, and doing that all in a format that is easy to audit and easy to understand. So, without any further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Matt, who's going to show off the product itself over at LlamaFarm. He's going to walk through the demo real quick and show it off. So, passing it over to Matt.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I'm really excited to talk about something that's become one of the most important patterns in applied AI, retrieval augmented generation, or RAG. So when most people try, their large language models and they're working on like development and things like that, they notice a couple of things. First, obviously, they're incredibly powerful, but of course, the data that they're limited, or what the data that they're trained on limits, how effective they can be. So large language models are typically trained on a huge variety of data, and you can get a lot of awesome, stuff out of just a general AI model, but they're not going to know specific things about the world or things that are changing in real time. And they also may not know about, your company's private data, your customer documentation, latest changes in your industry. And so that's where RAG comes in. It lets you connect an LLM to your own knowledge so that you get responses that are both smart and grounded in your reality. So think of it like giving the model an open book test. Instead of hoping that it memorized the answer during the training, you hand it the right page at the right time, and the result is a system that's more accurate, more trustworthy, and far easier to update than retraining the model from scratch every time the data changes. So today I'm going to walk through a quick demo so you can see how this works in practice and why it's such a game changer for building AI systems that people can actually depend on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show the LlamaFarm CLI that we've been building. And this is using all the LlamaFarm components that will run on your local machine or on a particular server that you deploy this on. So once you install LlamaFarm, and you can find the installation documentation on our website, you can run LF to get the basic help that shows you how to use the system. And so if you're starting off scratch for the first time, you'll want to use LF init to start your project. And you can even specify a folder name that where you want to put the project file. And what's going to happen is once I run this, it will create a file in this folder called llamafarm.yaml. And if we just pop that open and look at it, you can see that it's populated it with a default configuration. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and made a few changes to the config to guide it toward my specific use case. So for example, the thing that we're going to work on today, or that we're going to demo today, is retrieval augmented generation using the City of Raleigh's Unified Development Ordinance. We work in Raleigh, and so this is an interesting document that governs all the different parts of how the city works together. So I've gone ahead and added a prompt to tell this AI assistant what it is. It's an assistant for the City of Raleigh's Unified Development Ordinance, and it's going to take the input that we give it or our users give it and provide a helpful response based on the provided context. And so there's a bunch of detail here that we don't need to dive into today, that actually governs like how all this works and how the data fits together. And what LlamaFarm will give you are tools to build this out without you having to know how all these different things fit together. You'll learn about pieces of it over time as you kind of understand the changes that the system is making, but you'll be able to just go in and tell our AI agent what you want, and it will build this out for you and make the necessary changes. But a lot of times the default will get you a long way into where you want to go. So there's a bunch of data in here about parsing and extracting data from my file. And what you can see here is I have a data set that I've already pre-populated. And the reason I pre-populated it is when you're building information into a RAG database, which under the covers is typically a vector database, it can take a while to analyze the documents you're putting in, chunk them, and return the result. So I think just doing these files, which one of these is my, or these all support my Raleigh development ordinances. It took probably somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes to do all this. So not a long period of time, but definitely we don't want to sit here on this demo and spend 5 minutes waiting for this to happen. And then I'm using Ollama under the covers to power all these AI models. And the model I've chosen to use today is Quinn 3, and the size is 8 billion. But you can get a lot of mileage out of smaller models than that, or you could even use bigger models if you have the horsepower. So let's go ahead and look at my data set. So I'm going to list it, and you can see there's my data set. I named it UDO. It's using the Universal Processor strategy, and it's putting the documents into my main database, and right now has 4 files in it. So if I were uploading the files right now, I would run lf datasets upload, and then I would provide a path to like a folder that might have a bunch of files in it, or I can provide a path to a specific file. So in this case, might be adding the specific UDO supplement PDF file, and you can add files of all different types: PDFs, text files, Markdown files, even Word documents, Excel files. There's a huge number of parsers built right into the system for all the common file types, and even more can be added very easily. So we would add that. That'll push it up to into the LlamaFarm system, and now that it's there, it's not quite ready to use this data yet. The next thing I would need to do is run lf datasets process and then the name of my data set. So in this case, UDO, and that is what actually sucks in all those documents and produces the data puts the data into our database that we can use. And that's the piece that I've already done ahead of time. So I'm not going to run that command right now, but instead we're ready to query our AI assistant for some information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chat with my assistant, and I'm going to ask it, how far does a shed need to be from the property line of my house? And so if we run that, it's going to go out and scan the database for information that could be related to this question. And then it's going to pass that to the model. And the model, in turn, is going to analyze the context that it was given in addition to its own knowledge and the question that I asked, and it's going to return a response. And so this on a typical machine can take a few seconds to actually return a result, just due to the way that the models work and how they are loaded in memory and things like that. and then typically you'll get a response. So it's taking a bit of time, perhaps because the model had been unloaded from memory, but let's just give it a second and see if it will return data about our question. Usually it's a bit faster than this, but because this is a live demo, anything's possible.
Yeah, and what's important here is that what's happening underneath the hood is that it is doing all that reg that we mentioned earlier, and this is taking a little bit, but again, we can't control how fast the models do their stuff, and it might be providing a pretty big chunk over there as well of the data. So yeah, it actually will go in and grab the data. You can actually query the actual reg itself to see what it's doing, and then it will send that information over to the actual chat. So all that's happening right now. It just takes a little bit because we're running this locally on a computer, which again is something that you probably have not seen all that much. But yeah, thank you so much, Matt, for showing that all off. It is really cool that you can actually run a model. You can run the the full reg database, everything from a config file. And what's important about config is and using declarative AI for this is that instead of having to code all this and have different versions of code, you can have a config file and you can just send it to someone or send it into a runtime and it will repeat those processes. So you can have the entire reg pipeline, all the parsers, all the embedders, all of the extractors all set up. You can run it with test data locally, and then you can send it into the cloud with your prod data. Maybe that data is confidential. Maybe it's if you're in a government system, it's secret, and it will start to process that data in that environment without calling any other endpoints and keeping it all local. And that's critical and it's very important. So and you can share it with others. It's easy to roll back a version if something fails. It's easy to update something with a simple simple text update, and we take care of everything else. The other important thing I think is worth pointing out before I hand it over to Rachel is that this is 100% open source and it is very easy to extend. So because it is open source and you can extend it, if you want to run a different, right now we're using Ollama for inference. We're going to add others here in the very near future. You can add whatever inference you want. You can add whatever parsers you want. If you are a big unstructured fan, you can use unstructured for your PDFs. So you pay for a specialized parser, you can add that to it with very minimal efforts through the plug and play system that we have. Again, you can go directly to our GitHub page, check it out, be sure to star it, and you can learn more about it right there. So without any further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Rachel. She's been working really hard on the UI for this. There is a UI that ships out of the box. It is something that you'll get if you pull down the entire project, and I'm going to ship it over there. So let's go ahead. Over to Rachel Reno.
Cool. Hey, everyone. Matt just did a good job showing our CLI tooling. So that's what we've been launching and working on really hard over the last few weeks. And something else we have in the works that isn't totally fleshed out yet is the designer. So that's what I'm presenting now. We wanted to lower the barrier to entry even more by creating a UI where someone can come in, tell us about their project, and almost like Lovable just get started really quickly with their AI project without having to understand everything, but also providing all the tools and knobs as you get deeper and more knowledgeable in your project. So this is the homepage. You can type in here and say, oh, I'm building an aircraft maintenance app, and it will ask you, terrible spelling, and it will ask you what you want to achieve, who will use this, where you're going to run this, and then you can click create and it will create a new project. I'm just going to scroll down and show you all my other projects that I have. So Matt just mentioned Raleigh UDO project, and I was able to pull that in from samples, so I can hop right into there. And now I'm looking into my project over here on the left. I can just I can build my project with the designer chat on the left. So that's different from testing. I can also come all the way over to testing and play with my model, test my model based on how I built it. But with the chat on the left, I can ask add this data to my project. I can also go into data and understand things a little further. I can see my data sets once they load. and see like what chunks are in there. I can add strategies to them, so I can see that the same strategy that Matt just processed data with in the UTO project was used here. There's so many knobs you can really get deep into here, but the best part is you can use the chat on the left to work through all of this and understand it and change things without really having to understand everything on the right. But we're still working on this, so we're really looking for feedback. We have a prompt section, like I already showed you, a data section, and then you can really get into RAG to understand all those different parsers and extractors, embedding models and retrieval strategies and all of that in here. So there's also going to be a config switcher where you can look at your project config and edit that here as well. Didn't load right now, but like I said, this is a work in progress. So we're really excited for feedback. And I know GitHub's been mentioned multiple times, but like, please open an issue, contribute to our open source project. We're really excited to see what everyone's looking for as we continue to build out this UI side of things. Thanks. Who am I passing it over to? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it looks really cool. What's important, I think, for anyone watching this that may not be the most techie person, is that this actually runs locally. So you're running this on your laptop. It doesn't require cloud hosting. You're not going to pay for anything. This is entirely running on your infrastructure. And for those that might be in an industry that is heavily regulated, like fintech or healthcare or the government. Or a specialized company that doesn't want to send all their data into the world. It's pretty cool because, again, you can have access to your data. It doesn't have to go, to a cloud. You don't have to pay someone to manage your stuff. You can buy some GPUs and run this yourself. And again, that makes it very powerful. So without any further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Rachel Orino, who's going to walk through those different communities and talk about ways that you can get involved in this project, and from contributing code to just being a fan. So over to you, Rachel.
Oh, Rachel, we cannot hear you.
Rachel, your audio is not working right now. So I'll start with it. So this is the LlamaFarm GitHub page. As you can see, we got stars. We're over 100 stars, which again means that we're like a real project. You can go in here and be confident that this has been looked at by others. We have other contributors and the people you see on the left side of the screen, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff inside of the GitHub page. And for those that are in Reddit, please check out our Reddit, our Reddit subreddits over at LlamaFarm. You can get to it really easily. There's a lot of cool banter in there. We have well over 1,500 members inside of there as well. You can join it and get the latest and greatest from those two communities. And it's a lot of fun. And then, because we're cool and hip, we are also in Discord. It's a great place to go and see everything that is that's happening. If you have questions, you can ask questions there. You can ask questions in Reddit. You can open an issue inside of GitHub. There's a lot of different ways to do it. You can respond to the comments on this live stream. You can hit us up on LinkedIn. There's too many ways to contact us, but if you have any questions or you want something or you need something, just let me know, let us know, and we'll very quickly get back to you in one of those many form factors. So without any further ado, I'm going to wrap everything up.
Hey, Rob, let's flip back over to the CLI for a second. We finally got a response from our query.
All right.
Took about a minute to show up.
I'm trying to add the stage. There we go.
There we go. So you can see that actually the model, Quentin 3 is a thinking model. So it did a bunch of thinking as part of this. So you can see the section where it was thinking, and then you can see the response that we returned here. So pretty good based on the data that we passed in. It looked at the guidance in the development ordinance, and it built a response based on the knowledge that is available there, and gave us some good guidelines on how we can deploy our shed into our backyard. So look forward to doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, as far as like small communities, this could be a great way to engage with the community overall. But what's cool is that you could be running this locally, and you could have even more interesting queries. You could have ones around around billing. You could have very personal type queries inside a community and ensure that those are not hitting a public API endpoints outside of the city's control. So again, it's a way to keep data where it belongs, and that is with the constituency, in this case, inside of the city, or again, in the government, keeping it inside of different government agencies, inside of fintech companies, keeping it inside of the network boundaries of those institutions. For healthcare, keeping it inside the hospital system, so you can fully utilize AI without having to worry about all the mask and everything that's got to go on when you leave the bounds of the hospital. So as we kind of wrap this up, I just want to kind of leave you with this. If you need to deploy an AI project, check us out, because it's not just a model. It's not just a agent. It's not just a reg system. It's not just a vector database. We package all of those into one. It is a complete project. You can set this up in minutes. And again, there's you can go straight to GitHub, and it's got the commands to download it. It's really fast and easy. Reg, we have easy reg end-to-end. As you saw with Matt's, there's these concepts called parsers. It's very complex about what it does, but out of the box, you get all the defaults. And then, as you start to fine tune it, you can do even more. We're 100% declarative, meaning that everything you put into that config file is what is actually utilized. And again, that's really important, because you can repeat it in different environments. You can repeat it on your laptop. You can repeat it in the cloud. You can repeat it on someone else's server. You can send it to a friend, and they can repeat it as well. You can deploy anywhere, like I just mentioned. You can put it in those different environments. It runs on containers. If the environment doesn't have GPUs, you can still infer a lot off of CPUs. You might not be able to get 20,000 tokens per second, but you can get enough to have a few people inferring off of something that is just plain old server quality. And again, you can run this off your laptop. We're running these off of MacBooks without an issue. I think we're developer friendly. You tell me. And if you need something else, let us know. And with that UI coming out, I think we're even going to move into the world of no code as well. And last but not least, we are open source. This gives you the power to download it, to extend it, to fork it, to make your own worlds. If you're an enterprise, you can start playing with it right now. If you're a developer, you can start to use it right now. Again, everything starts in GitHub. You can scan, log in, and star and follow us as we deploy more and more. We have a new, a new CLI seems to be coming out every single day. We have 0.6 coming out later on today, if it's not already been deployed. And every single version has more and more capabilities to it. So that's what we got for today. Thank you all so much for joining us for this live stream. If you have any questions, we will handle them async in the chat. So just leave anything inside of the comments, and we'll get back to you. Or you can DM us and any of the platforms that this is live streaming in. Thank you so much for your time. And if you have anything else, please let us know. Appreciate it.